Caitriona Balfe says Sam Heughan and Dakota Johnson's relationship will end quickly. The glittering lights filled the lobby of the L'Amoureux Hotel in Paris, where a high-class film event was taking place. Celebrities gathered, champagne bubbled in slender crystal glasses, and the soft jazz music mingled with the soft laughter of the upper class. In a luxurious corner of the lobby, Caitriona Balfe stood silently at a long table covered in white silk. Her brown eyes scanned the familiar faces, a small smile playing on her lips as her gaze fell on Sam Heughan, her longtime co-star. But tonight, he was not alone. Next to Sam was another woman, Dakota Johnson, in a wine-red Dior gown, her eyes sparkling and her hand resting lightly on Sam's arm as if they had known each other from a previous life. Caitriona took a sip of her wine, her gaze following him, not out of curiosity, but out of intuition. "She doesn't understand him," Caitriona muttered. No one heard, but if anyone was standing close, they would have realized that the voice was not filled with jealousy, just a deep, almost prophetic worry. Words of the wind. The next morning, the tabloids had already published the headlines. Sam Heughan and Dakota Johnson, new love in the old world. The internet exploded. Outlander fans were in an uproar. Meanwhile, Caitriona Balfe left Paris to return to London, where she was preparing for her next shoot. In a small side interview with an independent film magazine, Caitriona was asked about the Sam-Dakota rumors. The interviewer, a young woman named Amelie, chuckled. "What do you think of Hollywood's new, golden couple?" Caitriona raised an eyebrow. "Gold? Real gold doesn't fade easily. But I think, this looks like a layer of plating." Amelie was surprised. "You don't think they'll last?" Caitriona put her teacup down on the table. "I know Sam. H is a man, deeper than he seems. And she hesitated, then smiled knowingly. "She likes the flash and the compliments. Sam needs the quiet behind the lights." The night call. The following week, Sam called Caitriona at 1 a.m. "I can't sleep," he said, his voice hoarse. "Why?" "I don't know. Dakota wants me to fly to LA for her mother's birthday. I'm not sure I want to." Caitriona was silent for a moment. "Are you in Paris or London?" "Still in Paris. But not the city of love anymore. Only when the love is real, is everywhere the city of love. Otherwise, it's just a city." Sam smiled faintly. "Do you think I'm wrong?" Caitriona didn't answer right away. Then she said, slowly, as if counting her breaths, "I don't think this relationship will last. Because it starts with loneliness, not understanding." A long silence. Then Sam sighed. "You always see through me, Cat." She smiled slightly. "Because I'm the one who rewrites the ending, if it's wrong." Invisible cracks. 2 months later, the articles gradually shifted from hot couple to signs of cracks. Dakota was seen leaving a restaurant in New York alone, her face cold. Sam was still filming in Scotland, barely mentioning her in interviews. A reporter asked him, "Are you and Dakota okay?" Sam smiled, but his eyes weren't smiling. Sometimes distance helps people understand each other better. Or, understand that they were wrong. The answer caused a stir in public opinion, and Caitriona. She is busy with a new film project, but during a short live stream with fans, someone asked, "What advice do you have for people who love each other but don't understand each other?" She thought for a moment, then replied, "Don't just love someone because you feel lonely. Love is when you look at them and see yourself, not in the mirror, but in their eyes." December. The cold wind whips against the glass windows of the Corinthia Hotel in London. In the luxurious room on the 9th floor, Dakota Johnson paced restlessly. Sam sat in the armchair, staring at the glass of wine in her hand. You always avoid me when I need to talk, Dakota said, her voice shaking but not necessarily from the cold. Because you always talk when you need to, not when we should. Dakota clenched her hands, her nails digging into her palms. What do you mean? I just want to understand you, to make things clearer between us. Sam put down her glass of wine. He looked at her, not with the eyes of someone in love, but with the eyes of someone who has tried and is slowly giving up. You don't want to understand, Dakota. You want to control. You want me in pictures, in beautiful clips, but you never ask me if I'm tired, if I feel real in this relationship. Dakota was silent. She had never seen Sam like that, so calm it was heartbreaking. You make me sound like an opportunist. Sam stood up, walked to the window and looked down at the cars passing through the city. No, I'm just lost, like me. But I choose to make others lost. The air in the room suddenly became stifling. Dakota turned away, wiping away tears. Did she say something to you, Caitriona? Sam didn't answer, but Dakota understood. There were things that didn't need to be confirmed. Prophecy comes true. A week later, Variety magazine made it official. Sam Heughan and Dakota Johnson split after nearly 5 months of dating. Number blame, no blame, just two people choosing their own paths. Caitriona was sitting in her recording studio in Dublin when her phone rang. It was a text from Sam. You were right. Everything you said is true. She looked at the screen, her fingers swiping, but didn't reply. Instead, she looked into the mirror opposite her and smiled softly. Not the smile of a winner, but of someone who had seen the picture before it was obscured by the spotlight. A few weeks later, they met again at a small independent film event in Scotland. The room was warm, a fire crackling in the fireplace. Sam walked in, and found Caitriona standing alone by the bookshelf. I figured you'd be here, he said. I'm always where few people look, she replied. Sam stepped forward. You always know things in advance, don't you? Not in advance. I'm just not blinded by the aura. He was silent for a moment. If everyone listened to you, they would probably live longer than short-lived love affairs. Caitriona smiled softly, her eyes still on the book she was holding. Not everyone wants to live long. Some just want to burn, then disappear. And you? She turned, facing him, her eyes sharp as if she could see through the mask he always wore. Me, I choose the fire, but I know when to put it out. There was a long silence. Outside, snow began to fall. And inside, no one said anything more, but they both knew that between them was something nameless, more lasting than any love that had ever flashed under the light. The song Without Words. Years later, in one of her last interviews before retiring from the film industry, Caitriona Balfe was asked, in your decades-long career, what is the most memorable moment for you? She was silent for a long time. The camera lights waited. Finally, she answered, a phone call at 1 a.m. A man asked me, do you think I'm wrong? And I didn't say, no. It wasn't a great moment, no awards, no applause. But that's when I learned, sometimes, silence is the truest form of love. The interviewer continued, do you regret it? She smiled, no. Because I told the truth, when he needed to hear it the most. Quote,